Good, how are you?
You think?
Call the September 7th, 2021 Municipal Authority meeting to order. Roll call, Marquet.
Here.
John Weaver.
Here.
Kalik Savant is not here. Maria Kane is not here. Operations Manager. Here. Stephen Neese. Counsel, J. Michael Sheridan. Here. Engineer, Mr. David Porter. Here. You stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's have to take a chance to take a look at the agenda. I do want to amend the agenda to reflect the addition of item number 15.6 in new business, paving reimbursement. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Joe, excuse me,
Oh, go ahead, counsel.
that's okay. I believe the amendment related to the transfer of the operating funds to pay for
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
the highway matter is already.
Right.
It's already there.
So let me. I have
And
my
for the
notes.
record, it's my understanding.
So for the record, we have to add to the agenda an item which is not here, which transfer of funds, which the board did by a vote to pay the debt service,
Which was due September.
which was
1st.
due
Principal.
September 1st. So we just want to retroactively approve it in the board form, but we all approved it via
Agenda item.
The week
email.
before,
It was polled by the board. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word I wanted. The board was polled. So that's the amendment to the agenda. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Everyone's had a chance to take a look at the minutes from the August 2nd, 2021 meeting. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes? Do
Motion to approve the minutes.
I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No announcements, public comment. Public comment. Presentations, oh. If you're gonna, I mean, we're gonna deal with it, so I mean, we're gonna deal with it in other business, so. KBX, Mr. Brophy, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman Sweeney. My name is Kevin Brophy. I'm with KBX Golden. Our company provides contract operation services to water, wastewater utilities and municipalities in the area. Our business recently was merged with a larger company called Wind River Environmental. We were growing fairly fast in terms of, as a result of a need for our services. And Wind River provides significant capital so that we can make larger investments in equipment, machinery, and continue to provide great service to Newtown Township Municipal Authority. That is really the basis of my presentation here today.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions of Mr. Brophy?
Sure.
Go ahead.
What, is anything going to be different in the service we get, or?
No, sir, absolutely not. That was mandated in the merger agreement. I insisted upon that from the beginning. All employees treated exactly the same, all clients treated exactly the same people, same operations management, really just additional capital so that we can provide further services and do as good of a job as possible.
Thank you.
and that's all set forth in a letter for the chairman's signature that was provided by Mr. Brophy previously to our manager. The one question I had, Kevin, is the Has the closing occurred yet
Yes, sir.
to
it has.
consummate the merger?
Yes, sir. It has.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, Kevin, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Fund transfer 9.1. Make a motion, we approve the transfer of $198.75 from the operating fund to the escrow fund. This money represents a duplicate reimbursement of escrow money expended from the operating fund for underfunded escrow accounts. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Treasury report. Everyone's had an opportunity to take a look at the treasury report for the month of July. Do I have a motion to approve that report?
Motion to approve it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Payments, 11.1. Make a motion, we consider ratifying the reoccurring bills paid on check register A dated August 26, 2021, totaling $3,399.99. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 11.2, make a motion, we approve the bills on check register A dated September 7th, 2021, totaling $406,063.01. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
11.3, I make a motion, we approve the payment from the bonds totaling $6,269.87 to Herbert MacCombie Engineering for Part 2 permit work, public sewer project relative to the Camelot Service Area. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 11.4, I make a motion, we approve the payment from the bonds totaling $2,066.87 to Herbert MacCombie Engineering, Part 2 permit work, public sewer project relative to the Ashford Service Area. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
11.5, I make a motion to consider approving the release of number 13 for J.O. and Bradley. General contract work associated with the Camelot Service Area of the public sewer project totaling $1,079,422.97, leaving a balance of $651,724.70. Do I have a second?
Second.
I do have a question. Mr. Porter. Sir. This draw of $1,079,000 and change, is this the last that's coming out of
I believe,
Camelot Service
I
Area?
believe it is the
With J.O.
last,
Bradley?
I believe it is the last payment to J.O. Bradley out of this contract.
They've completed all the work, they've, all the punch list items, all that stuff is done,
They have some,
to the best of our knowledge.
yeah, they have some restoration work to complete on Camelot Lane. So there may be a little bit of restoration work to come out in the next month's draw, but for the most part, this is reflective of 100% of the pump station mechanically for Camelot Lane, 100% of the pump station for Old Masters. Adjustments relative to lengths of sewer installed and numbers of manholes and all that after review of all the as-built plans, tabulation of all the quantities. So that's what we've arrived at.
Okay.
There's still a lot to be done at Camelot Pump Station, the old one. They haven't moved all the dirt and they haven't filled up the holes yet.
Yeah, like I said, there's some restoration that's got to be done at Camelot Lane.
It's not,
They've taken the structure down. They've removed the existing paving at Camelot Lane, existing pump station. And they've begun working on filling the wet well on that side of the project. So
Okay.
as soon as they resume that and complete that work, that's the last item to be complete.
Okay. Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Aye. 11.6, I'll make a motion, we can consider approving $109.40 refund to Robin Roden of 429 Wooded Way for an online duplicate payment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
11.7, I make a motion, we approve $181.59 refund to Amy Mahoney 3804 Austin Place for an online duplicate payment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
11.8, make a motion we approve $51.98 refund to Susan and Gregory Billy at 147 First Avenue for an online duplicate payment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 And 11.9, I make a motion we approve $519.75 payment to Newtown Township for an escrow payment meant for a township escrow account, but was applied to a municipal authority escrow account. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Quick question back to our Rich, the 3 duplicates, just, is that an anomaly or is that a,
So this is it's, the husband might pay via check, the wife may go on, pay online, credit
Okay,
card.
okay,
These things
got
like
it.
that, they're duplicate payments.
okay, all right, thank you. Engineers report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As always, I'll start with the public sewer extension project. The Ashford Service Area, we're working through some restoration details in completion of that project. The Camelot Service Area update, as you saw, the bulk of that public improvement work has been completed out in that service area. The Camelot Lane Pump Station, we had a PICO outage scheduled for August 13th, which was to simulate a power failure at the station and to test operation of the station under generator power. Everything worked according to design, and the station was placed into operation on the 13th of August. The following week, the contractor began demo of the Camelot Lane Pump Station. And as Mr. Kay had mentioned and brought to my attention, there's still several piles of dirt and some items to complete out there. I'm going to be working with Mr. Lafayette and Mr. Sheridan on drafting a letter to the property owners along Campus Boulevard requiring their connection to the public sewer, which are tributary to that pump station. For the Old Masters Station, we've worked with several tree contractors and gotten a quote for removal of trees out there. The earliest they can schedule that work for is the last week in September. The electrical line will be going in subsequent to that. And that concludes the update on the public sewer project.
Anybody have any questions regarding the public sewer project?
No.
No? Okay.
Okay, briefly, just want to bring the board up to speed on the Ellis Preserve Sector 1 Phase 2 commercial project. As you may recall, the developer had submitted a plan and a request for planning exemption for a commercial component out there at Ellis Preserve. The DEP came back and is assigned planning modules to that project. We are in discussion with the DEP and the developer for allocation of flow in connection with those planning modules. The Ellis Preserve Sector 1 Phase 2 residential, Mr. Sweeney and I had met with special counsel, and he is working on finalizing the agreement for that component of the development out there. We expect to hear something from special counsel shortly on that. In a sense, there's been some back and forth with the developer and the authority with regard to ongoing maintenance deposits for some of the sewer out there in that development. Dunwoody Village Pump Station update. I completed review of that pump station design mid-August, issued a review letter on the 19th, and have not heard a response to that review at this time. Lastly, just so the authorities are aware, there's been a submission for subdivision and land development at Wayland Road. It's a 27 lot subdivision. It's a large tract of land, it's about 50 acres up there off of Wayland Road. The application was submitted in late July. Our office, as conflict engineer for the township, has reviewed the land development plans, and we're in the process of finalizing a letter in review of that. The applicant's engineer, who is Stantec, had contacted us about public sewer for that tract of land. It's going to be 27 single-family homes, and the topography up there is such that they're proposing low-pressure sewer with grinder pumps to service the 27 lots. I had asked the developer and their engineer about whether they considered a smaller pump station and providing gravity sewer up there. And they had considered it, and they considered it in the past when they did a cluster development up there or cluster application. They kind of moved in a different direction at this time because of the topography of the site. Most of it drains to the south and to the west toward like the Newtown Hunt, Echo Valley area. There is a creek that runs between the two properties, between that Nolan tract, which is the development property, and Echo Valley. So in order to provide for gravity, they would need a pump station in that corner to collect everything and then pump it out into Echo Valley Lane or to Newtown Hunt. They would still have a handful of properties on the northern portion of the tract that would need to be grinder pumped and low pressure sewered up to the gravity in that neighborhood as well. So at this time, they do not anticipate any further development up there. And if they were, the topography up there lends itself to another pump station on the other side, just because the way the land falls in two different directions up there. So that's their, I guess that's their reasoning for going with the low pressure sewer and grinder pump methodology for sewage disposal. I told the applicant that I would discuss it with the authority, bring it to their attention, and take any comments back to them in our review letter.
Who's the developer?
Jim Nolan.
Okay. And where's this property again?
So he has 3 large tracts of land up off of Whalen Road.
Where's
So-
Whalen?
If you take 252 north to Episcopal Academy, and you go, instead of going around the traffic circle, you bear to the left, you're past Episcopal Academy to the light there, it's White Horse Road.
Yeah.
Make a left on the White Horse Road. There's a large residential development there on the left, it's called White Horse.
Yeah.
Continue past there, and he has the 3 large tracts on the left-hand side of the road before you get to Newtown Hunt and Melmar School.
Okay.
Dave and I spoke about it. The only issue, or the issues are, you guys okay?
Yeah, I just was letting him know that Nolan only has 2 now. He sold one of them.
Right. So my comment to Dave when he approached me on this is that although the plan development is for 27 lots in this phase, that we should not be short-sighted in looking at just this, but look at an eventual total development of all 3 parcels of ground, so that we don't end up with, oh, we should have done this and we didn't. We'll look at it in the context of a future development for both parcels 2 and parcels 3. Whether they do some type of detached single family, whether they do some type of carriage house, I don't know what the plan's called. So I just asked them that as they review the plan for this particular development, try and look at it in the context of an entire development, so that when we get to, when they present to this board at some point in the future, tracks 2 and tracks 3, that there's some synergy that was looked at today versus, wow, we had done that then, we wouldn't have this problem today. That's all I'm saying. So I've asked them to look at it, to talk to the engineer that represents Nolan, to talk to the Nolan people. Sorry. To talk to the Nolan people, and just keep in mind that if there's going to be a future development, I didn't know they sold their track. So now you've got a third party that at least we should bear in mind where that tract of ground is, how that lays on the overall piece of ground, and whether that fits into grinder pumps because of the way it lays, is a possibility of a pump station linking the two. All I'm saying is let's just not do it hodgepodge.
Right.
Let's look at it in the context of all three tracks being developed at some point in the future. Secondly, obviously, they've got to go through a planning module, they got to get approvals, they got to go downstream. Mike, what do they have to do? They got to go. They're outside our planning.
Well, my question was going to be, and I don't know if David knows, because I'm not sure where these parcels are. If they fall within the service area map, that determines where we can put CDCA capacity flow through. When we became members of CDCA, there was a map that was made that limited the area that would be serviced through CDCA. And maybe those are in that area or they're not. If they're not, then it's not that they can't do it, but there has to be an amendment to that map, which would require not only the approval of CDCA, but of the 12-member municipality. So it can be.
If
somewhat
memory
of a
serves me
time-consuming
correctly,
process.
they're not part of the map. They're outside the service area. If memory serves me correctly.
I thought they were, but when you get up to the north end.
You think they are, they are not?
I think they are not.
Right, I agree with you. I do not think they're part of the service area that was approved in the 537 plan.
And I can tell you because I was involved in negotiating the agreement with CDCA, that at least at that time, they were very much sticklers about where that map was being drawn and not exceeding it. So
Right.
so Mr. Nolan or Paul ought to be made aware of that.
Yep, I will check.
I'm
that.
assuming Stan Tech has
And I'd be happy to-
investigated that and has come to the conclusion that it is outside the service area.
Well, I'll check the map. I do know that as far as the Townships Act 537 plan, it's not in the immediate needs act, public sewer service area. So
Right.
that would necessitate a planning module for them to be brought into it. But Mike makes an excellent point that, yeah, if the
Not only that, but they're gonna have to get,
if the CDC is limiting it, yeah.
and they're gonna have to get all the municipalities downstream to sign
Correct.
off.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to do an extensive review of usage, capacity, allocation.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions on that? No? Okay. Dave, thank you. Operations managers report?
I have nothing new at this time.
Nothing? Okay. On old business 14.1, consider adopting the 2020 audit. In the last meeting, we did make it subject to the change. I believe I saw the revised audit, the change was made. So I'll make a motion that we approve the 2020 audit as modified from the last draft that was forwarded to the members of the board in the last 3 weeks. Do I have a second? Second. Any questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. 14.2, it's not on here, but this is an ongoing old business. This is the Kovac and the CLAG issue regarding connection to the sewer system. We all were provided with a letter outlining the economics from both the Kovacs and the CLAGs and a request for the authority to provide some or all of the compensation for them to connect. To give a brief overview, these two residents, along with several others in that part of the township, had been originally told that they did not have to connect because they were beyond the distance that we had outlined. A mistake was made in that there's language that says if you abut or adjacent, I believe, is it abut, Michael? Mike?
But and adjacent.
Abut and adjacent to a main that you do have to connect regardless of the distance, which Obviously, their distance is a fairly extensive distance. Because we had initially given them the approval not to connect, we removed their ability to connect via gravity, which allowed us to reduce the depth of our connection, thus saving the residents overall approximately $60,000. Now that the KBX and the CLAGs, as well as the rest of those residents who were affected by that, they came back and we said we did approve their request to be exempted from connecting. But the township supervisors at their own meeting rejected that idea, which then put these residents back into a position of they could maintain their on-lot system for a 10-year period. However, if they go to sell, they would have to connect to the system based on the township's ordinance that was approved. The memo everyone has had, I'll ask, have you had a chance to look at this memo so that we can discuss it?
Yeah, I'm not remembering it.
So go ahead. Yep, sure, go ahead. Just stand for the record. Just state your name and your address, please.
Hi, Rebecca Kovacs, 104 Springhouse Lane. The only two that were affected by the lateral issue is myself and the CLAGs. The other ones, their laterals at the right depth, correct? That's what makes the CLAGs and us different. Yes.
That's fine, I understand.
Okay, that's it.
So I will give my overview then. So as I said, the residents now are in a situation where they're going to have, if they go to sell the property, they have to connect. Based on this memo that we received, their on-lot systems are functioning and they would continue to function as long as they get an annual inspection. However, if they go to sell, they would have to connect to the system. They got estimates to connect via a low pressure system. And for the KBX to connect to a low pressure system is between 31, I'm rounding 31 and 43,000. For the CLAVX to connect, it's between 34 and 46,000 to connect on the low pressure system. If they had it connected under the gravity system, the KBX was $92,500 and the CLAVX was $105,000. Had we not shortened the depth, if we had gone the full depth and they connected on gravity, there would have been the estimated cost. I say estimated, but it's an estimated cost. So based on the authority/community save 60,000, the KBX are saving 61,000 and the classes are saving 70,000 by us raising the depth and taking away the gravity and going to a low pressure system. In the memo, it does make a comment that based on, I guess, their analysis or their discussions, their grinder pump is estimated to have a life expectancy of 7 to 10 years. I did speak with Dave Porter. His analysis is they're good for between 20 and 30 years. So at the end of the day, this whole analysis, although we did save, and I say we, the authority, but more importantly, the community saved 60,000 out of our costs. Both residents had a substantial savings by us going shallow and not making a gravity system. With that said, their memo was asking for the authority to either pay for all or a portion of their costs so they can connect to the system. They've been at every meeting for the last I don't know, 3 months, 2.5, 3 months, looking for clarity, looking for guidance. We have gone back and forth with the township supervisor, who's back on our lap. They do not get a waiver. So this is where we are today. So their request is for some or all to be compensated, or to be paid for by the authority. Anybody have a question on my analysis?
Sounds pretty straightforward.
Based on the information I have, it does. Did I have all the information correct? I mean, this is what you gave us. This is what.
Can I please ask, because we're recording and we're allowing people to hear, can you please speak at the mic? Thank you.
Let me get my thoughts down for a second. Okay, so my understanding is that the ordinance at one point in time was dwelling was 150 feet from the tap. Then the ordinance was changed to property. Okay, so that's one issue, right? And the other issue is, I mean, everything is functioning exactly as it should be. And really what started this whole process that brought it to everybody's attention, because we were all operating under the knowledge that we didn't have to.
I understand that. We
Okay?
made that clear. But that's
I
no
went to put
longer.
I went to put my house up for sale and I lost my deal because of this. Because now I'm forced with an unexpected expense. I've already paid $7,000. Now I'm going to be at an unexpected expense of another $30,000 to $40,000 that really has been forced upon us without any kind of consideration. I guess that's the best way I can put
I
it.
disagree with that, but that's fine.
Okay.
The issue here is we're being asked to provide some compensation, be it some portion or all, to offset the cost. If in fact, these residents want to connect. The only reason they'd have to connect at this point in time is if they were to sell their property. When their systems are functioning. Under the township ordinance, you can defer up to 10 years. As long as there's an annual inspection of your on-lot system and your system passes.
So then is it my understanding that I thought that, Mr. Sheridan, you helped me here, okay? I thought that it was that we weren't even part of that 10-year exemption. I thought that we were, are we still part of the 10-year?
You still have the option, as Mr. Sweeney stated, yes, to be part to defer the connection for 10 years as long as you have an operating system. That deferment, however, has certain exceptions, one being if your system stops working, and the other is that if you sell your property.
Okay, so we're still then under the same as everybody else 10-year rule.
Correct.
I didn't, okay, and that's,
Correct.
I guess, my misunderstanding in the Clags, because we
That's
thought that if we lived there, we could live there for another
Correct.
25 years.
You can live there for as long, up to 10 years.
Because we thought that's what the vote of sort of like the waiver was. I guess it's just running together at this point.
Well, I think that's what the authority did decide initially, was to grant an exemption.
We
So
were
that
trying to
could
grant
live in
you a
perpetuity.
permanent exemption
Right.
But
from
the board
connecting
came back, the board
because of the
supervisors came
distance
back said
and the
they wouldn't accept it.
communication failure. That was rejected by the supervisors, as we know. You
In
were here, it was
entirety.
rejected, correct. You are still entitled to a waiver for up to 10 years.
Yes.
A deferment, a waiver, a deferment, excuse me, let me rephrase that. It's not a waiver. You have the right to defer connection for up to 10 years, subject to an annual inspection showing that your system passes, which
we
you
do
clearly
anyway.
stated, state of the art.
Right.
And if you go to sell, you either have to make arrangements to connect, or the buyer, and we've been doing this, it has to be done. It can't be, that deferment does not carry on
Right.
to the new buyer.
Okay.
Okay, So either you negotiate in the contract that the compensation is adjusted in the contract. If the tap-in fee's been paid, you can negotiate in the contract that this has to be done. It is estimated to be X dollars. That X has to be paid. Either you pay it, they escrow it. We've worked with a lot of salespeople because there is not enough contractors right now to get the work done. We recognize that. So we are taking escrows. We are working with residents so they can consummate a sale. We're not here to create a sale problem. So we are working with residents who are under contract, who have a timing, and we're saying, okay, there'll be an escrow established, that money be put in escrow. So you are entitled to that right like everyone else in the two districts.
Okay.
And all you have to do is, if you want it, you put it in writing, you send it into the staff to say you are requesting a deferment, and you'll provide an annual inspection. And if you go back to sell your house, you would negotiate within the contract that that is an obligation that has to be met. The estimated cost is X, and you work it into your contract.
But recognize also, okay, that the specs that we have are for a double grinder pump to act as a backup, because
You choose not to get a generator.
no, I
understand.
don't choose, I can't. I mean, I can, but it's gonna
You
cost me
can.
another 40,000,
I understand that. I'm just saying, but
you know?
I just want, I mean, you're getting a state-of-the-art advanced grinder pump to offset the fact that you either don't or are not prepared or don't have a generator, which I understand.
Yeah, but understand, it's not simply that I choose not to, okay? It's that the power on my house is on one side and the fuel source is on the other side. So for me, that means that I'd have to have a whole nother propane tank dug in addition to the other thing. So that's
Okay.
another $20,000 to make sure that if there is an outage for any extended period of
So
time.
you expect, and numbers reflect the fact that you expected a more advanced grinder pump.
Right. Okay, so I
So
mean.
if
it's
you want to
just-
defer in writing to the staff, you're requesting a deferment, and that's all it takes.
No, well, no, that's not what I'm here for.
No, I understand
I
that, but I'm just saying, you have that right.
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
understand. Okay, yeah, I understand that.
Okay.
I understand that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I
So,
mean, we're just looking for resolution, you know? I mean, again, I'll say it again, for every time I'm here, I say it. We did what we were asked,
I understand that.
you know,
And
and we're just
an error
asking.
was made in the communication, and where we
So
are.
I just hope that you're all gonna, you know, consider.
So with all that said and everything I've outlined, are there any other questions? Does anyone want to make a motion to address the issue of compensation in some way, shape, or form? That's where we are.
No idea what the amount would be.
No, okay. I'll make the motion that we deny the request to provide compensation to offset the cost of connecting the system. Do I have a second? We have a choice.
Yeah. How about if we made a motion?
I have a motion on the table. It's yes or no.
No.
Okay? Motion's turned
How
down.
about if we made a motion?
You make it.
Make a motion to provide 25% of the cost that they would have to spend if they replaced it now. This is the right way to say it.
You're making it.
25% of the cost. We would paid upfront now for them to make the change.
But they would have to do it now.
Excuse me?
But they would have to
They
do
would
it.
have to do it now.
And is there any limit on that amount?
What do you mean by limit?
Pardon me?
What do you mean by limit?
Well, 25% of what?
What the cost would be? I don't know the exact number.
That's what I'm saying. Is there a limit, you know, if it comes in twice the amount that's anticipated, it's still, is there a limit on that 25%? A dollar limit, I mean.
I don't know. There should be.
So for reference purposes, just so you're looking. So for the base price of Kovacs at $31,250, 25% would be $7,812. For the Clavics, the base price is $34,900, 25% is $8,725. That's your
That's what I'm saying.
25% of the cost. So again, what is it that you want to set?
That we would pay 25% of the costs that they now have. And I'm going to give a dollar amount, I'll give a dollar amount. Equal to,
For the Kovac, $7,812. And for the Clavics, it's
so
$8,725.
for those two amounts. We're willing to give them that much if they
And what's,
do it now.
and when you say now, is that 30 days, 60 days, 90 days?
Within 30 days.
Your motion.
I didn't hear what she said.
Question is, do you, your timeframe of 30 days, is that 30 days to get a contract signed, or is that 30 days to have the work completed?
To get the contract signed.
Okay. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. I'll take the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Against my better judgment, aye. Okay. Okay. That's it for old business, new business 15-1. Consider approving the escrow reduction number 2 totaling $5,120.50 to Mid-Atlantic Mechanical for the sanitary sewer connection at 34 Reese Avenue. Do I have a motion to approve this? Do
Motion to approve.
I have a second?
Second.
Do we have an engineer's report supporting this release?
So if you look, this is what Stantec submitted.
Okay, just want to make sure. So Stantec has reviewed this and they're recommending we release this to Mid-Atlantic Mechanical. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. 15-2. Consider having the municipal authority solicitor trade an agreement transferring the authority's interest in the former Camelot pump station site to Springton Point Woods Homeowners Association, subject to the HOA releasing the municipal authority for responsibility and liability relating to the site. I believe the language should be not transferring. Is it, Mike, whatever you want to word this?
Well, I would word a transfer. Because
Okay, you're right. We're going to
it's
transfer
It's ownership.
our ownership in the easement to the homeowners association. Okay, Go ahead.
Entitled to any improvements.
what's that?
Title to any improvements that remain. I understand there's a wall.
Yeah, there's a wall and a pad that remains on the site that they'd have to take full
They
responsibility,
take title to it and full responsibility.
indemnify the authority and all the releases to the authority.
Yes.
Okay,
And just so you're aware, Mark is the president of the
Yeah.
HOA, and so should not take action tonight.
right. So we're going to, I just want the board to be aware of the fact that the homeowners association approached us, well, approached the engineer, approached me as to, would we be willing to work with them to take some type of possession of the pad site? I think they want to use it for storage, which is fine. So we worked with them. Yeah, the contractor did do what was asked. They removed most of the building, left the wall, left the pad site. So the site is ready.
Well, it's not right. We still have more work to do.
So when we get another board member here, we can take action, therefore Mark won't have to deal with it. Is that right, Mike? You're looking at me, I can't tell.
I can't wear my glasses with this.
I know, neither can I, so it's one or the other. Can we authorize you to work on this, or do we have to vote as a board to do that?
Well, you have to vote as a board to authorize me to prepare the agreement.
Right, okay.
to con-
So we'll do that at the next meeting, assuming we
Well,
have,
They got, I think,
Can't wait.
things got to be done pretty quick, I thought, because
well,
JO is going to be leaving
I,
the site. So
we can do is take you know what, we'll take a poll of the board tomorrow, if you would do that.
Well, you can make the vote. You can have, you got two people after Mark withdraws.
Right.
So that's a majority of the people in the quorum present today.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay,
Because even though he's recusing himself, he's still present.
right.
Correct.
I thought it was the other
We
way.
still have a quorum.
Okay, okay. All right, so I'll make a motion that we authorize our council to begin drafting documents.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And Mark recused himself.
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry, 15.3. I make a motion that we approve the operations manager to sign the maintenance contract relative to the merger with KBX Golden and Wind River Environmental. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 15.4. Make a motion, we approve $1,670.83 refund request from Mr. Zakian at 203 Carriage Lane for unusual high water usage associated with the irrigation system and filling a pool that did not enter the sanitary sewer system. Do I have this? I make a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
15.5, consider forming a 2022 budget task force. I will ask Mr. Kay and Mr. Weaver serve on that committee as they have in the past. Thank you. 15.6, I make a motion that we approve a transfer of $1,649,327 as payment to the Newtown Township for the reimbursement of the road paving costs associated with the 537 plan in both Echo Valley and in Florida Park. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any questions? None? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
It's true.
Items for next agenda.
You had added item
Yeah,
15.
what I want to do is, I think I found is, if I'm going to send an email to Nick tomorrow. If he could get a draft agenda out before, so that the members of the board can look at it to see if there is something they want to add to it versus adding something that may already be on the agenda or assumed it was on the agenda but wasn't. So I'll send an email to Nick and ask him, but going forward, to get a draft out in that time frame that he has to, so that each board member then can look at the draft, see if there's anything on there. If there is, if they have something that they want to add, they can add it and just let them know to add it to the agenda.
No, we'll ask Nick to get it out to you by Wednesday.
Yeah, as long as it meets the test of the law, whatever that test is.
We'll have, so it'll be the Wednesday before the meeting,
Right.
so that we have time. We do a final review Thursday afternoon and publish on Friday.
Okay.
So
Okay. All right. Is there any other?
you had
You
taken a
amended
vote at the beginning of the meeting to amend the agenda.
Right.
With a 15.7. You actually now need to take action on 15.7,
Okay.
which is ratifying the payment to.
Oh, okay. So as we did via a board poll, we did have to advance immediately the bond payment of 1.5. I forget the dollar amount.
1.6 something.
1.6 million to make the July, I guess, August 1st bond payment. The board was polled, the board approved it, but for the record, I'd like to make a motion that we approve transferring funds from the capital account to the operating account to make the payment for the installment of August 1st, 2021. Do I have a second?
I believe it's September 1st is originally.
September 1st?
It was September 1st.
Yeah.
Missed it by 6 days here.
Okay, September 1st payment, which was me. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Are there any other items under new business? If not, a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you.